Hey guys, welcome back to episode 2 of this UDT tutorial series where we're creating the Outlast camera functionality. In the previous episode we set up night vision so we can turn it on and off by pressing N and it counts down with the battery, but we haven't set up any of the UI at the moment, it's just playing through debugs. So for this episode we're going to get to the UI, but first of all we're going to start off by making the battery, because at the moment there's no way for us to restore our batteries. So we're going to go ahead and create a blueprint. We're going to make it an actor. We're going to call that BP_battery, and then we're going to add a cylinder to it. We're going to rotate the cylinder by pressing E. We're going to rotate that 90 degrees on the Y-axis. We're then going to scale it down. I'm going to set this to, let's go with 0.6 by 0.6 by 0.4. So we'll go 0.8 on that last one, so it's a bit longer. And then we're going to add a collision. Gotta make sure that collision is a capsule collision, and then we're gonna have to scale it out. I'm gonna rotate it 90 degrees first, and then press R to scale it. And then just scale it so that it is bigger than the cylinder itself. That looks pretty good. And then we can leave everything as it is there. We don't have to touch this for now. Actually, you know what? Let's set up the battery first. We're going to come into our batteries event graph. We're going to delete everything that's already here. We're then going to select our capsule collision, and then we're going to select begin overlap down here. And then from here, we're going to drag out. We're going to cast it to our third person character, or whatever your character is named to. Then you're going to connect that to other actor. What this does is make sure that the only thing that can interact with the collision box to set off this code is our character. So we're now going to have to call our battery storage from our player. So what this whole battery will do is when our player walks into it, it'll give him a battery, and then he can press R to reload, and that will give him 100 charge on the camera so the night vision can keep going, which is the same as it is in Outlast. So we're going to drag out. I haven't made a battery storage yet, have I? Okay, that's something we're going to do. We're going to make another variable in our player character. We're going to call this NV battery storage. It's going to be an integer as well. It's going to be by default set to 0. And if we come back into our battery, we can drag out. We can make our battery storage by going get. And then we drag out from there and we go plus. Make sure you select integer, so plus, there we go. And then leave that as 1. We're then going to drag our battery storage out from here again. We're going to go set battery, select storage, connect that to our caster player, and then connect that one again. What this does is it gets the battery storage, which by default will be set to 0, and then it adds 1 to it, and then sets that as our new battery storage. This will only ever run anytime our character walks into the collision box of the battery. But at the moment you can infinitely walk into it because it won't destroy it, so we now have to add a destroy actor to the end of it. There we go. And then just so you can see that this is actually working, we're going to print string. We're going to connect that to that one. Okay, so now I have to place some in my level first. Okay, let's put 2 of them. So now we have our battery. If I walk into it, in the top left you can see it says 1. If I walk into it again, 2. So we now have 2 batteries held on us, but there's no UI to demonstrate this. So I'm now going to go ahead and create a user interface, and then widget blueprint. We're going to call this widget blueprint, or WB_HUD. And go ahead and open that up. And then the first thing we want to do is create a progress bar. We're going to drag that out. I'm going to anchor it to the top right and reset its positions. And then I am going to, where is it? Style, here it is. I'm going to click the drop down on style, and then going to select the background image. And I'm going to open up the fill image. Now, we're going to have to go ahead and import our 2 images. There'll be a link in the description below where you can download these 2 from. I'm going to go ahead and drag them in now. Okay, so now that I've dragged them in, I can go back into my HUD. And then for the first image, we want to select the empty one, I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check. Yeah, so the first image we want to be our empty one. And then the second one we want to be our charged one. So now we're going to go ahead and resize these because at the moment they're kind of going to be a little small. We're going to come back up to the top here and under size X I'm going to set that to 150. And size Y I'm going to set that to 75. Now currently it's off of our screen, so we're going to have to move that. So I'm going to set position X to -180. And then position Y to 30. That will center it back in our screen. Or center it, or put it back in our corner. I'm also going to come down here and under the percent, you can see now that if I scroll it out, it will show a percentage, but it's blue, so we need to set that to white. And then it's also left to right. I want it to be right to left. So now you can see that when it's completely flat, it's empty, but as it gets more and more charged, it goes all the way back up. But at the moment, this only works because I am moving it, so we're going to need to make sure that there's some kind of code that does that for us. I think there's one more thing we can do actually while we're here. Bar fill type. We go create binding, and then we will need to separate them a bit. Sorry, I was just I've already made the project, so I'm just bringing it back up to make sure I do it correctly. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cast to our character, which in my case is my third person character. We then need to get an object reference for it, so we're going to do get player character. And then we're going to drag out, and we're going to go and get our NV battery. And then from that, we're going to drag out, we're going to go %, not percent, so -1. Actually no, we don't want integer, we want float. So we need to convert it first. Oh, actually no, we can just go float %, there we go. And then if we now connect these two up, it will convert it for us, and then we can connect it there. Now, as I said earlier in the video, if you've set your where is it? Your night vision battery to 80, this won't affect you, but if you haven't, you'll have to mess around with this number until you get to the correct one, or else your battery bar won't start moving the second you turn your night vision on. It'll take a couple seconds depending on what you have that number set to. So for anyone that's following that this tutorial and has it set to 80, 100% will work perfectly. You can go ahead and compile save that now. We can come back into our third person character, and we need to set up the call function to make our UI appear. So I'm going to do this in my functions here. As you can see, I've already created one. Instead of going ahead and just reusing this, I will make one alongside of you guys. We're going to go ahead and make a new function. And then we are going to do exactly what I have here. So we create the UI and add it to viewport. I'm also going to name this function. We're going to call it create HUD. And then we are going to go create widget. And you're going to select whatever you called your widget. And you're going to drag out and go add to viewport. And then connect them up. So what this does is it calls upon this widget, and then it just adds it to the viewport so our character will see it. But we still need to call it inside of our event graph itself. So as you can see here, I used to be calling this one. We're going to go ahead and delete that, although you guys likely won't have that unless you follow the tutorial to make this character. Then we're going to go create HUD. And now if I compile, save, and then open up my player again, you can see it's up there in the top right, and it's fully charged by default. And now if I press N, it will start going down, and it'll follow these numbers. You can see the numbers in the top left, that represents how low it is on the right. So once that gets to 0, the battery in the top right will run out. And you can see it is now out. Now you may have noticed that that number ran out after the bar had disappeared. What happens is with the UI element that I've chosen, the actual image itself, the battery percentage starts here and ends here, sorry, but when the percentage bar works, it runs from here to here. So you'll have issues with that depending on what kind of thing you make, like how you make your UI element look. Anyway guys, that is all for this tutorial. If you want to see the next episode where we'll be going ahead and setting up our battery functionality and the UI, then go ahead and click the link down below in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and comment letting me know. Anyway guys, that's all.